Good afternoon. Welcome back. This is Talking TV with Nick and Josh. I'm Josh.
And I'm Nick.
And today, once again, we'll be talking about The Wire. This time, it is...
Will it be The Wire this time?
Yeah,
Okay.
The Wire.
Fuck, I watched the wrong show.
Episode 5.
The Pager.
The Pager. Yeah, The Pager. So, let's just dive right into it.
All right, so original air date June 30th, 2002.
This is correct.
Episode 5, you said. All right, so where does it start out?
We start with Avon looking at himself in a mirror.
Yeah, at his
Well,
girlfriend's house, right? Yeah.
Apartment or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah, he's looking at himself in the mirror, whatever, getting ready.
Yeah, like
trying to be Mr. Mac
like
Daddy.
he did his business. He's getting ready to leave.
Right. And the phone rings.
And no one's there.
Right. Well, he's like, "Who's that?" Well, who was that? They hung up before they said. What did you say? They hung up without saying. And then he becomes like
paranoid,
super paranoid.
Which he has a reason to be paranoid, but he's
overly paranoid.
Yeah.
I mean, because he looks out, basically gives Weebay this look.
Yeah, like, hey, man.
And Weebay, he's cocking his gun, backs up. They show these two
going to field hockey practice.
And they're like, thankfully he didn't like pistol whip him or kill him, And then he gets in, and then they drive, and they pull up at this little place, and he's like, "Nah, I don't want to use this phone. I used it yesterday."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What?"
Now,
Avon, calm down.
The funny thing is, he's super paranoid.
Oh yeah,
super paranoid.
And Weebay's like, "Yo, like, chill."
Remember when he goes, whew, and he goes, "What you breathing out your mouth for?"
Yeah.
I was thinking, what the fuck else is he supposed to breathe out of? But Weebay thinks he's lost it a little bit. I think. He
tells him, he goes, he said something about
being like too paranoid or whatever.
Yeah, he goes. It's like we're overstepping, like we're like bugging out.
What song were they listening to in the car?
I didn't catch it.
I don't know what it was. I think it was Big Daddy Kane though, which is weird because it was like
back in the day.
Well, yeah, but it was like 2002. I don't think Big Daddy Kane. Well, maybe, but it was one of his late shitty songs. If it was.
Yeah, I didn't catch it. It didn't catch my thing. I wasn't like, oh, I know that song. Didn't happen. So
I was like listening. Like I heard the na 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 na. But yeah, I mean it shows he's paranoid. But if you think about it,
which is weird though, because there's really no reason for him to be paranoid because
there is.
He's gotten away with it for this long.
Yeah, but
the cops and everyone.
Maybe that's why.
He's just thinking like, okay, this has been going on for far too long.
Well, no, he's just careful, and that's why he's been getting away with it. Is the way I see it. He doesn't leave shit up to chance.
I guess. I mean,
except for maybe his nephew. No, I'm just kidding.
True.
No, but you know what I mean. So I mean, where he's way crazy about it, I get it. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, but I mean, it's not. You don't want to be like that. You don't want to be fucking paranoid. You don't think straight when you're paranoid.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but like, is not using that phone...
You become overly careful, and it fucks you up.
But not using that payphone because you used it yesterday isn't a bad thing.
No, but it's inconvenient for Weebay.
I think he's being compensated.
I guess.
I mean...
I wouldn't like to drive somebody around like that.
Well, then don't...
But like, motherfucker, use that goddamn fucking phone.
You would not say that to Avon Barksdale.
Yes, I would.
You lying sack of shit.
I would totally. I'd be like, Avon, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I don't believe that for a second. Not for a second. So then we get the quote. A little slow, a little late, Avon Barksdale.
Yep.
They could have used any other quote in this fucking... I think at one point I wrote down something else should have been the quote of the episode. I don't remember if I did or not. No, I don't have anything against that quote.
It's late in the show that he actually says that, because I usually look for it and listen for it, and I was like, fuck, when are they going to say this? Like,
well, and then I'm like, there's just a couple
there
other
it is.
There was just a couple other things that I was like, why wasn't that the quote? Like, I don't know. They had to give like...
I like this episode a lot.
Yeah, it was really good.
It's picking up.
It just makes
for sure.
You say that every time.
No, but it's picking up.
It's not... There's nothing
Shit's about to pop off.
You say that.
No, shit's about to pop off.
You say that.
You know what happens next episode.
No,
how
I
we
do.
start.
Yeah.
So shit's about to pop off.
But here's my point. Nothing. But just because something pops off doesn't mean that they're gonna. I mean, it takes a while for shit to happen.
No, I know. It's building up to the climax right now. It's like foreplay.
A little bit.
It's like foreplay right now.
Kind of, but but that's like too easy. Like it's a story but like so sometimes it's just like it takes a couple episodes for shit to happen. Sometimes,
No,
but
for sure.
That little shit is what gets us there.
But it's not. This wasn't a boring episode
I don't think any of them were
at all.
None of them were boring.
No.
You're just excited for what's coming,
right?
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
That's different than being slow.
Yeah.
Do you hear? You know what I'm saying?
No, I do. I'm just like
you're like it's picking up. It wasn't.
Well,
it
like,
wasn't, it wasn't bad.
No, it was great.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed this episode.
This episode was really good too.
Thoroughly, like, can't wait to finish this podcast.
So you watch another one?
Well, that and just to talk about it.
Right.
So much happens.
Oh, well, let's get into it.
Yeah.
So we go to the projects, right?
Yeah.
That's what I wrote down.
It's Omar.
I wrote down blah, blah, blah,
Oh, okay.
because I cannot read my... Like, I dare someone to read this handwriting.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you got Omar, Brandon, and John Bailey.
What's
And
his
they're-
name?
yeah.
We got that one right.
Yeah. And Omar's drawn in the dirt.
Oh, yeah, I put
how
his...
they're gonna rock
I
these
put
motherfuckers.
he's drawing his play like a quarterback.
Yep. And they're just chilling. Like, they're not... He's not sitting inside of his apartment or wherever. He's
No,
on a piece of paper. He's just...
Yeah, they're just down the street, and I wrote down that he was calling the East Side. He goes, "These guys are chumps. They're not like Avon's
Right.
crew."
He goes, this is so easy. Like,
Yeah.
these aren't like Avon's crew.
Right.
And it was.
So, and then there was a lot of going back and forth in this episode.
Oh, definitely.
Because so we're gonna.
I had to pause it a shit ton to write my goddamn notes.
Yeah, because it goes to
I'm like still writing and it cuts to another scene. I'm like, what the fuck? I can't. I got to finish this scene first. I got to write what I need to write.
Right.
So I literally, it took me forever to watch this fucking episode because I was like having to pause it because they're back and forth, back and forth,
back and forth,
back.
All right, so then we go to the basement / office. I wrote down basement and I said, no, that's not what I call it. I call it the office.
Yeah, I do. I call it the basement.
Right, no. Judge shows up with the for them to do the affidavit and gets a little lost.
Was that other lady's name Donette?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure it is. They don't say it, but I looked it up on IMDb. It was Phelan, Perlman, Kima, McNulty, and then that other chick.
Yeah.
I think it was Donette. That's the only one that I saw.
I'm going to take your word for it.
IMDb.
Okay.
Not that it fucking matters, but
Yeah, I wrote down McNulty.
I actually was like, you know what? I'm gonna
Perlman. Actually, it looks like I wrote down Perling.
Perling.
And Greg's.
All right.
Swears on the affidavit. David.
What I thought was funny was Phelan didn't even know how it worked.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, so how does this work?
Well, I mean, he's a judge, not a...
Yeah, but he's fucking signing these papers to say, yeah, you're cool, you're good to do this. Like, I thought that was odd. Like, I don't know, maybe that's typical of it, but...
Well, I thought... My thinking was his judge sign shit all the time, but, like, they don't know how... Like,
I guess.
you know
And
what
I mean, he's overly interested in this case because
Yeah.
McNulty put it in his ear.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So-
that's how I took it.
I guess. Makes
know.
sense. But I thought that was kind of funny. And then the clone, it's active. Cloning pager is active.
Yeah. Which, you know what? When they set up the clone, the thing, that I got excited for that too. I know that's not what you're excited for necessarily, but like...
Well, I mean, it's an exciting part.
Yeah, like, okay, we're getting into business here.
Yeah, like they're getting it up. Like,
yeah.
it's... And then McNulty turns the pager on.
Yeah.
And they just sit there and kind of look at it for a minute. And then
we go back to the projects.
we hear whistling.
Yeah,
And
now...
a bunch of little kids running. 2 of them. 2 little kids are running.
Now, so... This is an awesome scene.
Oh, it's classic.
So, Omar walks down the street with a shotgun.
It's hanging down out of his trench coat.
Everyone's like, yo, man, Omar's coming, man. Yo, man.
Omar's coming.
The people just flee because he's walking down the
Oh,
street.
yeah. Fat kid even dropped his Discman.
I heard
And didn't even stop.
One guy was like...
You're a bad motherfucker if you drop a Discman and you don't stop.
no, because he was getting his move on before
you know
that.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he was grooving out to, like, some R. Kelly or something.
But, like, it was... Like, he walks down the street, and they're just like, yo, man, Omar's coming. He's packing. You hear someone say,
Yeah.
he's packing. And they just scatter
Spread.
like roaches.
Yep. Spread like roaches.
So
in the
then, of
light
course,
coming
they
on.
run down the alley like Omar said they would.
Yep.
And you got Bailey and Brandon with their guns, and they rob him. And
That's it.
he whistles.
Farmer in the Dale is his fucking jam. I never knew that until last night.
I know, you were pretty funny about that, actually.
I don't know why.
See, my mom brought it up to me, like, all the time. So, like, it was just
Wasn't that your
my...
ringtone at one point?
Yeah. Except I could never hear my phone ring. I'm like, who's whistling? Oh, it's my phone! Fuck.
Wait a second. That's funny because, but so basically, I don't know why. I just thought, I wrote down too, he's singing Farmer in the Dale, and then he tells the fat kid, I feel bad, but he says, the cheese stands alone as he's looking at it. And he took that necklace, he took it.
Yeah.
Because in a later scene, you see Brandon wearing it.
Oh, right, I didn't notice that.
When they're getting ready to go.
I figured when he lifted it with his shotgun.
When they're loading up later on.
Yeah.
Brandon's got it around his neck. Nice parting gift.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Omar does some cool shit. That's definitely.
Well, because I looked it up because I Googled it. I Googled about what that meant, like the cheese stands alone. Mm-hmm. From everything I read, a lot of people said that it was just him it was like symbolization that he's the rat and he's coming and he got the cheese. And like the cheese stands alone, like there was no, it was that easy, just took it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, to me that was always one of those lines that was just like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, doesn't.
See, I just, it was so cool.
I mean, it's just kind of dumb. Like, the cheese stands alone. Like, what is he saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, what did you interpret it as?
You know, I don't think I
even
think
I
didn't even try. I was just so mesmerized with the way everybody ran off and hid just because he was walking down the street. So I just thought it was something he said. Like, I never even thought twice about it. Like, it just never even occurred to me. But I get that. Like, the cheese. Yeah, I mean, I get what you just said about Google. But, yeah, it never even occurred to me.
Then it's funny, too, because do you think it plays on that he's whistling Farmer in the Dell? That, I mean, it's like a fucking, what do they call it? A lullaby or something?
Yeah. I was
like
gonna
a
say
children's song.
I was going to say a nursery rhyme, but
a nursery rhyme. And, I mean, he's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
But he's whistling Farmer in the Dell.
Yeah, and people are running.
And they just take off.
He can whistle a nursery rhyme and people run.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how I took it, but...
Yeah. I mean, I like I said, I was mesmerized when I found out that it was... When I finally put two and two together, I'm like, holy shit, it's a fucking lullaby. This motherfucker's walking down the street with a fucking sawed-off in his little sling. So now we're at the pit. You got Pooh, Bodie, and Dee, and they're just talking about...
Oh, they're talking about, getting AIDS, basically.
Yeah, the bug is what Bodie calls it.
And then Dee walks up. I like that. He goes, you can't get it from girls sucking your dick. I would already had it by now. Which that's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, pretty much. It's, I don't know, it was kind of a dumb scene. I thought it was funny just how he calls him out. He basically said, how would you know that you can't get it?
Yeah.
You know, like saying he doesn't get his dick sucked or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Wallace is fucking around with his little toy.
Yeah, his little transformer.
Yeah, and Bodie walks over, picks up an empty 40 bottle, and chucks it at the fucking wall. And then some of the glass hits his fucking head.
He's like, and
he screams like he's getting butt raped or something.
Yeah.
And I was just like, Jesus, like, I feel like that's a bit extreme. I mean, but I've never had a 40 bottle thrown in my head, so...
I don't know if I have or not.
I don't know.
I probably have. It's a bit... which was extreme? The throwing or the screaming?
Well, both. I thought his scream was, like, almost girly.
Oh, I don't remember.
But, I mean, he's young. He's a little kid, basically. And that shows that...
Well, he got cut by glass from the 40 on his forehead. I guess I would...
But, I mean,
what the
like,
fuck?
you know. Right. I don't think I would react like, ah!
I don't think it was quite that bad.
I mean, it was bad.
It wasn't quite that bad.
It was bad.
Yeah, Bodie, Bodie's like...
but he's a hothead like that. He can snap quick.
But the thing is, too, he was reacting off of what D was looking at.
No, yeah, it was like the anger was more pointed towards D, but it got taken out on.
But the
Wallace.
only reason he noticed him is because D, who's supposed to be in charge, notices this kid playing. He's supposed to be a lookout. He's watching him play with this transformer. Not lookout, but he's supposed to be paying attention, for fuck's sake.
Right.
So he's like, oh, he sees him playing. Oh, you can be playing. So then he picks it up and chucks it out. And that's why we have all these problems.
Right.
So then D gets all pissed off. Well, he should have done something about it. He I don't know. I felt like Bodhi was reacting because he looked, but yet D didn't do anything about it. And then he gets all pissed off at Bodhi, where Bodhi was kind of in the right, in my opinion. Sure, it was a little extreme that he threw it, but I mean...
Right. No, I get it. I just... I don't know. I mean, Bodhi can kind of... obviously...
And D's the exact opposite.
Right. He's like...
He's a fucking pussy.
He's scared of...
Confrontation. I don't think Bodhi's afraid of confrontation.
No.
Yeah.
As you can,
Yeah.
Because then D starts walking over, and he's like, you know what? And and Bodhi's like, what?
Yeah, and
then the pager goes off.
Yeah, and that's the end of that.
Because, I mean, I just think Bodhi would have fucking killed him. I mean, obviously he wouldn't have killed him, but I think he would have fucked him up pretty damn good. And you find out in this episode, he's only 16.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. So then it goes back to the office, because Lester gets D's page too.
Right. Yeah, Lester's gathering all the incoming pages, getting all the information.
He's showing Daniels that the pages aren't making any sense.
They're using a code, basically.
Yeah. McNulty calls Lester and says, "You getting the same page?"
Yeah.
That's fucked up. And then Presbeluski asks about the code.
Yeah.
And did you see Lester's reaction to Presbeluski asking?
I didn't.
Lester was almost like, "What the fuck do you care?" Like,
yeah.
Like,
which is funny.
You don't do shit. Why do you even fucking?
You're just sitting around and do crosswords all day.
Yeah. So what?
But that's not his fault. I mean, it kind of is, but
not his fault. He's the motherfucker that clocked the dude in the eye.
It is his fault, but I mean, it's not by choice, I guess, that he wants to just sit around and do nothing.
No, I'm sure he could figure out other shit than crossword puzzles, but yeah.
Right.
So then,
it was his actions that caused him to be sitting in the thing for the whole day. Yeah.
I just got the impression that Lester didn't think, like, he's like, what the fuck? What do you even care?
Well, and he kind of comes off as dumb.
Yeah.
To me. He comes off as just, like, kind of like, not all there in the head.
Well,
and
I
kind of
like
an outcast, kind of.
A dipshit. Like, he's, and then he says, and this even goes into it a little bit, he says, spy shit, very cool.
Yeah.
So that's I'm with you there. That part is kind of like, what the fuck?
Definitely.
So then, every time they went to the streets or something, I just wrote down projects because that's pretty much where they were.
I just put McNulty and Kima. They're with Kima's with Bubbles. They're on Omar's trail. He recognized the van.
Yeah. Kima wants to arrest Omar.
Right.
Put a gun.
Flip him.
And put a gun charge on him and flip him. Which is hilarious. A, they're not going to arrest him. B, he's not going to have a gun on him. And C, they're not going to flip him.
Nope.
What did I put? I put 3 weeks for Daniels to agree to this. 1 week for the affidavit. And then this shit is what McNulty said when I get these stupid pages. And I didn't know Bubs was with her.
No, at first, because he's sleeping.
Yeah, he like,
he's
what did I miss? And I was like, oh, fuck, so I wrote down Bubs. Yeah, he's like, I don't know how you guys do what you do and not get high.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. That's like all these are like pretty quick.
They're really quick hits.
Yeah.
Because then we go to Stringer and D in the pit.
In the pit, yeah, Stringer.
5-0 rolls up. They're talking.
Yeah,
They think there's a snitch in the crew.
Yes, Stringer thinks there's a snitch.
Yeah.
D doesn't think there's a snitch.
Well, he said... No, Stringer said that me and your uncle think there's a snitch in the crew or whatever.
Yeah, and so he basically tells him not to pay him.
Which is fucked. But, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to, like he said, go find another job or go to college.
Right. Right.
You know, and D, the way he reacts is like he cares about him.
Yeah, and he's
You
like...
think he does? Do you think he cares about him as people?
Well,
I think he does.
D a little bit, yeah. A little bit.
Because he tries to say all this philosophy.
He's also saying, you know, people aren't going to work for you if you don't pay them, which that's not caring. That's just common sense.
Right.
But that's when he says, well, they're not going to go to college or...
Right.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? And he says he wants to know about the guy that doesn't ask.
He said everyone's going to be asking for like a payout.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to be able to afford their shit.
Yep.
Whoever doesn't ask, that's your snitch. That's who
I
want
to talk to.
Yeah.
And
it is fucked up, but it does make sense. Like, oh yeah, okay. I see what you're doing.
And he's got his all matching like velour jumpsuit, sweatsuit going and shit.
Yeah. And then they go back to the office, and Poke is drinking out of a flask.
Yeah.
And Prisbalusi's making copies of the telephone.
The numbers of the telephone.
Yeah. Which, if you hadn't seen the episode, you'd be like, what the fuck is he doing?
Exactly. And Polk looked lit off his ass.
He's stumbling around.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
So
fuck.
Then back to McNulty and Kima.
They actually flashed back to D and Stringer really quick.
Oh, do they?
I just wrote down D seems almost...
Oh, no. Okay, go ahead.
I just put D almost seems uncomfortable with the whole plan.
Yeah.
Like, skeptical to the plan.
Well, and then I meant to say this, but I forgot. Poot is his name.
It's Poot?
It's Poot.
Oh, okay.
We've been calling him Pooh the whole time. I had what's it called? The fucking...
It says that on IMDb too, Poot?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Wow, I never caught that. That's funny.
I think what's his name? Wallace called him Poot, and I was like, what did he just say? And I rewounded. I put on the fucking...
Oh, the subtitles?
Yeah, and it said Poot. But he's on the cell phone in the pit, and Stringer didn't like that. I wrote that down before we went to Polk. Yeah. So D goes over there and like knocks it down and shit, like a badass.
What the fuck are you doing? You know the rules.
Yeah, he's just trying to get some pussy. He wasn't talking to a cop.
Yeah, because he was like, you know, you're my favorite girl.
That's all he does.
Oh yeah.
So then we go.
That's his whole.
Then we go to Kima and McNulty waiting for Omar.
Yeah, it is Poot.
What the hell?
His name is Malik Poot Carr.
Oh, McNulty says he had a CI working for him that was like Omar, named Roland Terry, who saw the street like we wish we could. I wrote that down. I thought that
I was going to write that down. I was going to rewind it and get that guy's name, but I said Nick's going to get that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nick's got that one.
So thank you for that. Because I was going to rewind it and get his name, and I was like, Nick's going to get that.
I was like...
For sure.
I thought that was kind of cool.
No, definitely.
Because he does see the streets a lot better than they do.
Well, obviously, he's
then
in them
McNulty's wife calls.
Oh, yeah. Well, he calls her.
Does he call her?
On Kima's phone, because he says, can I use your phone?
Oh, that's right.
So, and then he calls her.
I didn't write down what they were talking about. And I didn't write down what he said. But he was basically says, you know, if I was a different person, if I was a different guy,
yeah,
he says
I'd call her a cunt.
Yeah, but it took him like 5 minutes to get him at.
I love that.
And he goes, and she's like, you just called your wife a cunt. And he goes, no, I didn't call her a cunt.
He said, she said, you just called the mother of your children a cunt.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Yes, you did.
And then
he just like gets out of the car. He's like, I got it.
So while they're sitting there talking about his wife being a cunt,
right?
That little kid walks by.
Yes.
Walks over to Omar's house.
Yes.
Knocks on the, hey, Omar, they're waiting for you. They don't show it.
Right.
But he's like, hey, the cops are waiting for you.
Well, and it's funny, too, that in this scene, he's talking about his ex-wife is bitching at him about, did you get beds?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course, you know.
And he didn't get them.
No, which you find out here shortly that he did it.
But she's a cunt.
Right. Right.
Because he didn't
I wouldn't let him sleep on the floor.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was kind of funny.
So now it flashes to him building the bed, actually, is what I got.
Yeah.
He's drunk, and he's like doing...
lit. Drinking little, whatever they call it, flasks of Jameson.
Yeah. And then, so it shows him, like, real quick doing that, and then it has... Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I skipped over. I didn't draw my line all the way down.
Oh, boy.
We go to the pits. Fucking Carver and Herc show up.
Yeah, and they pick up Bodie.
Beat him up a little bit.
Yep. Rough him up.
That's when they show. Then they go to McNulty making the bed. Then they flash back to them at the station. Now, this was a cool scene, too.
The good cop, bad cop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, they don't say they're going to be good cop, bad cop. They just say that they're going to... he didn't go in there and be that, and then you come in there and act like you're... He goes, well, I want to kick his ass anyways. Like,
right.
Herc's going to be bad cop.
Right.
So Carver goes in...
At first Carver plays a good cop.
No, he was fucking lame. Didn't you think... Are those braces too tight? That's what he said.
Well...
And then he undoes them. It was, like, so obvious.
Well,
it was,
yeah,
like,
I know.
Fucking pathetic.
And Bodie picked up on it, but...
Well, fuck.
At least at first he was playing good cop.
Right. So then he's like, what can we do? He goes, what's in it for me if I do this? And he's like, they get real close, and he's like, hey, what do I get? And he goes, well, what do you want? And he's like, I want you to suck my dick. Then Carver loses it.
He's not a good cop anymore.
No. Carver loses it, starts hitting him. Herc has to come in there and then break him up.
Yeah.
And then Bodie has the quote. This could have been the quote of the thing.
Could have been.
You're supposed to be the good cop, you stupid motherfucker.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And then
they both start beating his ass. Yeah.
Herc loses it at that point.
Yeah. That was hilarious.
Yeah, Bodie gets beat up quite a bit by the cops.
Apparently he can take a beating.
Yeah, because he was already beat up from the last time.
Yeah. Yeah, he still had black eye and shit.
Yeah.
His makeup wasn't too good later.
No.
Yeah. They weren't winning any special effects awards.
No.
So then we flash to the restaurant.
Yep.
Dee's taking
The ritzy restaurant.
Dee's taking his woman out for a
Chardine.
Is that her name?
I think so.
Okay.
That's what I looked up, and that's who it said.
So, Chardine's her name, and then what's the girl's name from the strip bar?
Maybe she isn't Chardine.
Oh,
Christ.
isn't she Chardine?
Maybe you're right. I don't fucking know. Maybe they don't say her fucking name. There's too many characters.
You know, I tried to lead
maybe
you...
his girl's Donette.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think you're right. Because I swear to God, Donette sounds more like a black name than that little white lady that you were talking about before.
Maybe. I think
I don't
that
know.
might be.
I don't care. We'll just call her Dee's girl. I don't like her. She's kind of bitchy.
She's kind of cunty.
So it shows them getting a table. They don't have reservations. The guy sits him in kind of a shitty little table.
You thought it was?
Compared to wasn't it right by where the waiters walk out and shit? Like the one guy bumps into him.
So?
Well, I mean, it wasn't a good table.
Well, I don't think that matters. You're at the fucking restaurant you wanted to be at. At least
I didn't say
No,
it
I'm just saying, but like, at least they seated him.
But that's not my point. My point is that what I'm getting to is she was a bitch about sitting there.
See, I thought it was vice versa. I thought she was like, it's fine, like, we're here. And he was like the one complaining about it. Because he complained the entire time, and then she basically went off on him, saying, nobody knows who you are.
Then. When they sent him down there, he goes, what about those tables there? Oh, no.
Oh, well, yeah.
Then she's like, oh, you should have done more, D.
I guess.
So, I mean, fuck.
I guess.
So she's not happy either way, obviously. Right. We'll go back to the original thing. She's a bitch / cunt.
Yeah.
Then that flashes back to McNulty getting drunk, still putting the beds together.
Mm-hmm.
So then...
That's when he asks, you think they know what I'm about? They're at the restaurant.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. Like, they don't fucking know, so shut the fuck up. Like, just fucking... You got money, that's all that matters, basically.
Right.
If you got money, you can do and be whoever you want.
Right. And then Carver and Herc...
Playing pool.
Well, first, yeah.
Well, they try to fucking get him to... booking or whatever? They try to...
So there's a juvenile intake, as it's called, where they take him to juvie, basically, from jail.
Right.
Because he can't stay there because he's 16.
Right.
That's how we find out he's 16. So the next bus has come to... Or next person, whoever the fuck it is, doesn't come for 4 hours, so they're like, what the fuck? Then it flashes back to the dinner. they want a little dessert. He tries to take the fucking sample. So they're out of their element, kind of.
Oh yeah, definitely. I wouldn't have known what the fuck to do. I mean, I wouldn't have grabbed it, but just because I wouldn't want to look like that. Like, I wouldn't want to look like an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't think he belongs.
He doesn't.
He doesn't because he doesn't think he does. Like, Stringer would have belonged.
Yeah,
and they do the same shit.
Stringer pulls strings. Stringer is the puppet master.
Lord.
Stringer's the puppet master.
Shut the fuck up.
Stringer's the puppet master. He puts the elaborate plan together and puts it in motion. Stringer ain't on no street corner. Stringer ain't in no pit.
He was at one time.
He ain't no mole. But I mean, at one point, sure. But he has now elevated himself.
My point is, they're both drug dealers, and he could get there if he wanted. He wouldn't have any problem not taking the sample off the dude's plate.
Right, but that just shows you. It's just letting you in more that he's out of his element, because he is.
Yeah, but part of it is because he thinks he's out of his element.
Right,
like he's not doing anything to get out of the element.
Right, but I mean, he's not used to that.
I know, I get that.
So, I mean, I'm sure he don't eat there once a week.
He'd take his bitchy fucking girlfriend out once in a while. He'd get used to it.
I'm sure they don't go there, though. I'm sure they go to, like, what do they get? The sea bass sandwich? Or whatever.
You're making shit up now.
The lake trout sandwich?
Or the sea bass.
I don't know why.
Dyslexic fuck.
I was listening to Jalen and Jacoby last night, and Jalen Rhodes says he really likes sea bass. So
all right.
I think that for whatever reason.
All right, so now I put break room because this is like, is that where they are when they're playing pool?
Yeah, I think so because there's a pool table, a couple chairs. Bodie's sitting there handcuffed to the chair eating a sandwich.
Yeah, which he had to admit that it was better than, I think, his lake trout sandwich. I think that's what he's talking about.
Well, yeah.
And then he basically says he can beat their ass in pool. Mm-hmm. He'd do it better if he wasn't cuffed.
And didn't.
Yeah.
Got ran, lost 3 games.
But then they run to Orlando's.
Mm-hmm.
You got Avon and Stringer up in the office.
They promote Stink.
To Everson Gully. Whatever the fuck that is.
Some street corner.
Yeah, so basically there's someone named Scar there, and they're going to run him out.
Yeah. And they show you him.
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't not really yet.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But eventually they show him, but you don't really see his face. You just see he's wearing like
But I liked what they said. They said, okay, so Scar's there. Right. Tell him to get, or we're going to put Weebay and Bird on it.
Yeah.
Run everyone out. If there's anyone that you think might be cool, hook them up. We'll join us. Otherwise, give them the fuck out.
If only it was that easy, in the real world.
Yeah. So, and then he's like, who do you want it? And he's like, I guess it was Stinkum's idea. So he was like, give it to Stinkum. He saw the play, so he's going to get points on the package.
Right. I don't know what that means.
It's a percentage.
Oh, okay. I guess. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't speak street slang.
You don't speak slang?
No.
Well, I mean, I didn't look it up or anything, but points on the package.
I'm surprised I didn't look that up.
Later, I'm kind of surprised too.
I was in a time crunch.
I thought you were gonna
I had to watch this and fucking Silence of the Lambs last night. So.
Well, you didn't have to wait till Wednesday.
Well, fuck! I picked it up Tuesday. I was already late as fuck on Tuesday when I got home.
Yeah, that's true.
So and then yesterday I had practice. So when I got home, I started this episode at 7, and then finished it at like 8:30. Ate dinner, and then started Silence of the Lambs.
No, you're the one that wanted to have a podcast.
So I was like, what?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So,
and then he gets a page, real quick.
Who does?
Avon.
Oh, does he? Oh, yeah.
Saying it was Weebay saying they got one of them, and then he says Omar, and he goes, no, not Omar.
Yeah, okay.
One of the other
little
ones.
It goes back and forth between Avon and then them playing pool. So, like, I have that, like, all separated. But, yeah.
And you don't know who at that time that...
Right.
Whether it's Brandon or John Bailey.
Right. And so they and then he gets some shitload of money out of the safe and goes get in the car with Stinkum.
Yeah.
And then they show more of those fucking...
Surveillance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently I was just completely fucking an idiot on that one. But yeah, and before they
Should get a
flash
surveillance
back,
counter.
they flash back to I know shit. Bodie, paying them $60 because he lost. He said basically he lost $60 to Carver.
When he told him like, I don't know how much you get paid, but I make way more than this or something like.
Yeah.
Which is funny that,
Yeah, he probably does make more than Carver.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's funny that he can say it to him.
Yeah.
And they know what he does.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, they're just taking his drug money.
Yeah, that's true. I never looked at it that way. Yeah, he was like, oh, we don't want the sergeant to see that. So then Herc just grabs it, So then we go to homicide.
I didn't write on this because I thought it was pretty quick.
Oh, okay. What is it?
There's bunk in them. And they're talking about... Aren't they talking about the...
Oh, it was the guy that matched up the 45 with 2 other murders that were drug murders.
Yeah.
So then we can skip over that. That's all I really wrote down.
And then we go to Bubbles. He brings Johnny Weeks some food.
Yeah, in the Greenville Hospice Center.
Yeah, which is weird because isn't the hospice center where people go to die?
Like older people.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I didn't know they had a hospice for
I'm sure
drug
the motherfucker
addicts.
doesn't have insurance and shit. He's all fucked up.
True, but
so.
I mean that just looked like a shitty fucking facility. I mean,
yeah. Well, I'm sure
he's got a nice little colostomy bag.
Comes in a bag, goes out in a bag. I also thought that could have been the fucking title.
Mm-hmm. But they told him he's got the bug. Is what
he's got AIDS and. He wasn't okay with Bubs helping the police.
He's pissed that he went to the cops.
Which I didn't get. He's doing it for him. And then he wants to like fucking go back and start doing more. I was like, you're a fucking idiot.
And he told me, he goes, it's all part of the game, and you taught me that. Mm-hmm. So I get what he's saying, but at the same time, it's like,
it got personal.
This is the only motherfucker that is coming to visit you in the fucking hospice center. So why the fuck are you going to get mad at him when he's...
He didn't really get mad.
I mean, he didn't, but he was...
He was about to.
He was pissed, I feel like.
Yeah, he was about...
Why'd you go to the cops? Like,
he didn't understand.
Right. But he's an idiot.
Yeah, he was sticking up for him, too.
The drug addict. Right. But yeah, I mean, I thought that...
But I don't like the guy, so when he gets... It's giving me another reason not to like him.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he got fucked up pretty good. Yeah, and then he says he wants to go back and just basically start doing it all again. But I mean, fuck, why not if you have AIDS?
Yeah.
I mean...
I guess.
I don't know. He doesn't have family or kids. So, I mean, you might as well go out doing what you want to do.
He might have a family.
We don't know, but I assume he doesn't.
Someone had to give birth to him.
Yeah, but they're probably dead. They're probably crackheads themselves.
See, I picture him as, like, coming from the suburbs.
Could be.
Like, mom and dad are, like, fucking a lawyer
Loaded.
and a teacher, and then he's just fucking hanging out with Bubs. That's what I picture in my little head.
Yeah.
So then we go back to homicide.
Yep, Landsman.
We get to see Landsman's ass. That's probably the highlight of your episode, right?
Loved it.
Yeah. He does a little dance.
I took a screenshot of my photo.
Did you?
On my photo?
I don't know what that means.
On my fucking phone. Jeez.
You watched this on your phone?
No, I'm saying like I took a picture.
Yeah, I get you.
Okay.
I know how phones work.
I got you.
Okay.
I should have waited and sent you the picture of that. Since I sent you the picture, showing you I was watching it.
So Landsman asks him who he serves. Who do you serve? He says Rawls.
Yep.
So then he tells him how he stuck up for him to get this.
Basically got him off the hook.
Yeah, get this shit done and get this done in 2 weeks. You're good to go.
McNulty knows right then and there that it's not going to be over in 3 weeks.
Not now.
And they just got the pager clone.
And they can't figure him out.
There's no way.
Yeah.
So and he thanks him, but it's like a...
Yeah, he's like, thanks. And then he just makes his face like, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
So then we go back to the pits.
Yep. Wallace D. Poot.
And some bitch, because I don't know her name.
And that Poot and Wallace asked... Wallace asked...
Apparently I hadn't figured out that it was Poot yet, because I wrote down Poot.
Well, I wrote Poo, and I'm just correcting it as
I know. I hadn't figured it out at this point.
But Wallace asked D for an advance. Because he says... I think he said something like, niggas be broke.
Oh, actually, look, I put Poot, question mark, at the end of this. Yeah.
But yeah...
That was it. It was because he goes, hey, go me and Poot.
Yeah, I don't know who that girl was. I'd never seen her before.
They haven't shown her before.
It's just weird, like, that she...
And she was bitching that it ain't right,
Right.
She's in the next
she must be a
episode.
little hopper.
She's in the next episode.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Fuck if I know.
Next or the one after that. Anyway. So then, back to homicide? It goes so quick.
Yeah, I have...
God, this must.
I have the one saying where this is where it's that guy saying that 3 murders are all linked together.
Yeah, this is.
Bunk got a new number for Tawanda, and they show up at her house. I don't know if I.
Yeah. Oh, because McNulty finds out that John Bailey was killed.
Okay.
They're looking at the like Bunk's telling him all this shit, and he's not even paying attention. But he's looking at this paper on the board, and he's like, "Oh, did you see this one?" And he goes over to fucking Landsman. He goes, "Hey, you don't think the one, whatever Saturday night or it was, the guy gets lit up with the vest on, with it was 3 shooters and I forget how many fucking casings there were.
Yeah.
You don't think that was part of our case?" And he's like, "I'm working my murders."
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! And he walks away. He's not giving a fuck.
No.
When it's not his turn to give a fuck. He's only worried about his shit, which you touched on more last episode. I think that kind of proved your point a little bit. So then they go to Tawanda's house.
Yep. Say she was in the streets with them. Used to do it.
She looks so familiar with me. I had to look her up, and the only thing I figured out is, the guy, I can't think of his name. The guy that does the Allstate commercials.
The white guy?
No, black guy.
Is it Allstate? It's Nationwide, I thought.
No, that's Peyton Manning.
Yeah, well, now, but
Yeah,
Allstate's the white guy, the Mayhem.
Oh, really? I
thought so.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Yeah.
It was the guy that was the president in 24.
Yeah. Has a real deep voice.
Yeah. Well, he was in a show called The Unit. That guy or that girl played his daughter in The Unit. That had to be where I recognized her.
Okay. Makes sense. I thought she looked familiar to me. For whatever reason, I thought she played in Juice with Tupac. I don't know why.
Really? She was not in Juice.
No. I don't know why that popped in my head.
That came out 9, maybe 12 years before this, I think.
She was like a child. So they're at their house. They're at the house. They're basically just asking her a bunch of questions. They're trying to figure out, obviously what's what and who's who. And she's like, I was in there. She's talking about Deidre or whatever, Deidre.
Deidre.
She was in the unit.
Yeah.
See, Allstate's the white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not what I'm... Go ahead.
And look, see, it's got the... that's her page, and look who's at the top.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's
so,
funny.
yeah, so... Basically, she tells him that she was going to write on him if Avon broke up with her.
Yeah, Bunk's like, right on him.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
And...
She got all possessive on it.
Right. She said, I'd never seen her like this before. She was just hell-bent on staying with him, basically.
Right.
And then that's when she tells him about Orlando, or the night, the gentleman's club, basically.
Yeah.
And then
Orlando, she's what? He owns a club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, he's a front man, or he's the money man or something. So then...
Yeah, they had no clue.
Yeah, so they get tipped on Orlando's, the gentleman's club. Which, what a fucking name.
What?
You can't come up with something else better than Orlando's?
His name's Orlando.
Yeah, but
there's plenty
of...
Do you know what the name of the owner of the bar Jimbo's is called?
Jimbo.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, an idiot. Who names their kid Jimbo?
What's a nickname, for fuck's sake? It's not his real name. It's not on his birth certificate.
Well, it's not as bad as the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator. His name, and I'm not kidding, his name is Jim Bob Cooter.
That's pretty awesome right there.
Jim Bob Cooter. How the fuck would you like to be named that?
I wouldn't mind it.
I would change my fucking name.
Jim Bob Cooter.
Like, that's his legit name.
You can go fucking...
Like, it just sounds like you're missing 14 teeth and you're living the fucking...
It sounds like you should be on the Dukes of Hazzard.
Tennessee Hills.
Yeah. So then it shows, what? McNulty, Keeman, Daniels checking out Orlando's, right?
No, I put that it goes to D talking with Orlando in Orlando.
Oh, yeah, I skipped that. I don't know why. I saw Orlando's and I was thinking, yeah, it's right there.
So they're basically just talking.
Yeah, this...
Orlando says, oh, yeah, Stink's got a corner.
Yeah,
And D didn't even know.
He knew D didn't know.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get him...
Oh, I thought you'd know by now.
Yeah. How the fuck would he know?
And he says that... He basically...
and he also says he's getting a percentage.
Yeah.
So that's points on the package.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wrote here that... Talking with Chardine. So, yeah, Chardine's not D's girlfriend.
I knew that because we talked that last time.
I must have been high or something.
He
even though I wasn't.
Even though I wasn't.
Would have liked to have been.
He that drunk guy gets all upset with him.
Yeah, because he's down there.
So
I've been sitting here for fucking 4 hours, taking my money. Starts getting loud.
I get the impression the guy was probably drunk and forgot to pay for something that he thought he paid for, but he's been spending money all night.
Yeah.
So she just gives him $20. I thought that was kind of weird.
And I thought it was gay that D gives her 20.
Yeah. And then she took it.
Like, dude, you're not slick, okay? You're a little bald-headed peanut motherfucker, like, who's riding the coattails of their uncle.
Right. But he has $20. I mean, fuck.
Woohoo!
Then we go to McNulty, Kima, and Daniels.
Oh, well, he asked her out.
Yeah.
And
I didn't write
she's
that
like,
down.
I usually don't say yes.
Oh, usually as he walks up the stairs.
Yeah.
So that was retarded. I wasn't going to write that down. It annoyed me too much that I don't like either one of them. So them getting together doesn't really excite me too much.
Really?
You know?
You don't want them to have a baby together?
No. Do you think
might
they do?
like it.
Do you think they do?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Now can we get the fucking them out in the car?
Yeah, McDaniels.
They're at McDonald's.
Well, for McNulty, I just write MC, and then I wrote Daniels right next to it. So it's McDaniels.
It's Randall McDaniel.
It's McDaniels and Kima in my book. Because I don't write McNulty.
I do.
I just write.
Fucking time.
I just write MC. Because obviously,
What if it's Hammer?
get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
So they're just staking out Orlando's. I wrote this is where we find out that John Bailey died.
That's not where I found out.
Really? Maybe I missed the other one.
No, you did. Well, you must have, because it's when they don't say his name,
Oh, okay.
but McNulty's like saying, "Hey, this guy got lit up," and then
He was wearing Kevlar,
yeah.
but it didn't work.
Well, it doesn't work with a shot in the head.
Yeah, I heard him talking about
Yeah.
that, saying that.
So basically, they
So then I put Omar and Brandon. They're loading up.
Oh, so you just skipped right over all that shit, huh?
Over what?
I wrote a lot of shit in that car.
Did you?
Kinda, not really.
Go for it.
I just wrote that.
No, let's go for it.
I just wrote that they had they talked about 5 specific places that he owned,
Right.
including a tow truck company. Daniels says to find out who the owner of the club is, check for a company name and run it through state corporate charter office. I don't know what any of that shit means.
Me neither.
But I wrote it down.
That's why I didn't write it down.
Well, but basically, I think they want to see if there's someone, if there's a
Right.
umbrella, fake.
Well, he's got fronts everywhere.
Yeah, so is there some fake umbrella that runs a bunch of shit?
Right.
Is the only reason I wrote it down. And then I wrote down that McNulty told them about Bailey, and then D gets paged.
Yes.
So now we go to Omar and Brandon
They're loading up.
and waiting for Bailey.
And then Omar calls out Brandon for cussing.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Ain't nobody want to hear that at your beautiful mouth. That was your favorite part, right?
Jesus. That's the scene where Brandon's wearing that kid's money necklace.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah. This is where he was wearing it. And there were a lot of just...
Yeah,
Quick,
they go bam, bam,
quick.
bam. Yeah, yeah.
So then
So then goes to the office.
Prez.
So
down
he
the
got a
basement.
big smirk on his face.
Oh, yeah.
Which was cool. I felt good for him in this scene.
Oh, yeah. Because he actually showed that he's not just worthless idiot.
Yeah. So when McNulty walks in, he goes, I beeped you, which is kind of funny. So it was him that paged D. I lost my train of thought. So
He paged Kima too.
yeah, and Kima's. What does she say? I called the number, it didn't work. And he goes, "Oh, it would have worked if you knew the code."
Yeah.
And
So basically, he cracked the code.
and he's fucking with him,
Right.
which I liked.
Get back in.
And
the
he says it's a simple code. There's no math involved. That's why they can do it.
Right.
And you just jump to 5.
Jump in a 5.
McNulty calls.
Which he cracked that shit quick. I mean,
Yeah.
but he does do crosswords all day.
But he did it. I mean, what else was he doing? So it depends how you look at it.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I guess I've never cracked a code, so
No,
I wouldn't even know where to begin to start to try to crack a fucking code.
you wouldn't know where to begin to start.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't even know where to start to try to start looking. To
Well,
start.
how about like there's 7 numbers in the foot? So
I get it, but
all right.
it would just fucking probably take me a year or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I could see that.
I don't know.
You get bored halfway through.
I would. I'd have to go do something.
And
Smoke a
McNulty
cigarette or something.
McNulty called him a little genius and then kisses him on the lips.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's cool that he cracked it, but did you have to kiss him on the lips?
He was fucking with him because he did not like it either.
He
He's like,
said, you fucking genius, or what did he say?
He said, "You little genius."
Oh, yeah.
So now we go to the what is it? The Maryland State Rehabilitation
Rehabilitation Center.
Thank you.
That's right.
It's Avon, Stinkum,
Yeah.
and D.
Yep.
So and Avon's just talking about family and all this shit. So is this Avon's brother?
That he said you're going to see your uncle today.
Right.
D. So
is it his older brother?
I guess
Yeah.
it almost didn't even look like a dude to me.
What?
Laying in the bed,
How did it not look like
it
a
kind of
dude?
looked like an old lady to me, with like no hair, like an old lady with like a buzz cut.
And no tits either?
Yeah. Well, fuck. How many old ladies have tits?
I don't know. All of them?
But they're not as prestigious as they once were. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
It was a fucking dude. No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know. They get all saggy and they get all
They
flat.
turned into a dick.
Yeah, they get all flat with their fucking chest.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I guess. I mean, it's Dee's uncle, so I'm assuming it's Avon's brother.
Okay, that's what I assumed too.
Yeah.
D was a little uncomfortable there.
Yeah, definitely.
Avon's like tapping him, and he's like, "Hey, you're not so hard now, huh?"
Yeah.
You could tell Avon loves the person because you wouldn't be touching,
Right.
You wouldn't be making jokes like if you didn't, So that was an odd little scene, though. I didn't need to see all that.
No. One of those where it was just like, okay, we could have done without this.
Yeah.
Because I don't really find any relevance to it.
Right.
Like, at all.
Right. So.
Thanks, HBO. Wasting 39 seconds of my life.
Oh my god.
Because I don't waste my time.
No, never.
I am a 100% busy all the time.
You're so full of shit.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so now we go to the one you were all happy about.
Yes.
Right? So they're on their little stakeout on Omar.
Yep.
Why is McNulty driving Kima's truck?
That's weird.
I would have been like, bitch, I'll drive my own car. Like, I'm
Maybe
whatever.
she was tired.
Too tired to drive? She's a fucking cop. Get over it.
I
Drink
don't
some
know.
coffee.
I didn't catch that, but...
So Omar drives into the cemetery.
Yeah. And they're like, wait, what the fuck?
Should we call back
back
up? Should we call back
I
up?
mean, that would freak me out, too. Like, you know...
Are
Like,
you afraid of ghosts? Or?
no, but,
okay.
I mean...
Yeah, no.
There's usually not a lot of people in a cemetery.
That's true.
So, I mean, he could have basically got out and popped him.
Yeah.
Probably gotten away.
So,
Brandon and Omar get out. Kima and McNulty get out.
with guns.
Yeah, they got their guns drawn. And he basically says something of, you don't need those or something.
Well, and also he's like, you ain't gonna charge on me. Everything's because she checks the
Right.
van. It's all clean. Of course, it's clean. That's
Yeah.
why I brought you up here. See what you guys want.
Because he was tipped off.
And he says that McNulty says they got a problem in common.
Right. This is like an epic scene. I love this scene.
It is. It is epic.
I think it's just
do you know, so they get out. Brandon
beautifully put together.
Brandon doesn't say shit.
No.
And after
he
doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
He usually has his mouth around a cock. So
right. So Kima, who doesn't put her mouth around a cock,
nope,
doesn't say shit either after she checks the van.
Right.
Neither one of them say a word. It's all McNulty,
and Omar.
Which is my two favorite characters. Probably why I like the scene too.
Yeah.
So they say they got a problem in common, but Omar doesn't think it's a problem.
Right. And that's what he said. He's like, problem? I don't know.
And then he says, I forget.
And then he goes, maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little problem. And then as he goes to get back in the van, he tells him in his own little way, like through his brother, like, I know your brother.
Tell your brother John Bailey got shot.
And then he's like...
And Omar didn't know this. At least he didn't. He
see?
reacted like he didn't. Brandon's face was like...
What the fuck?
Yeah, like a ghost just popped out from behind a fucking headstone around the corner.
Yeah.
And he about fucking played polka dots in his underwear with his poop.
Wait, can you repeat that one?
Like he played polka dot in his underwear with his poop.
Oh, okay.
Like connect the dots, not polka dots.
And then Omar drops Bird's name.
Yeah.
Said, this was good too. Because of Gant, he said he shot a working man, and then he said, "I think your snitch can handle that one."
Bubbles knows everybody.
Shit, Bubbles knows everyone. Or shit, Bubbles knows Bird. He said shit again.
Yep.
This is the second time,
and that's the only time
after this episode. Where earlier in the episode he told the other guy not to cuss.
Right.
Kind of odd, don't you think?
Well, this is the last episode he cusses in, right?
That's what it said.
Yeah.
If we find it, we can call IMDb liars. Or whatever.
Fuck IMDb.
Wow.
Just kidding, we love you guys. Sponsor us.
Yeah, right.
Sponsor us.
Alright, so then we go to McNulty's ex-wife's house.
Yep.
He drops off a bike, no one's home.
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
I didn't either.
I mean, you're worried about 39 seconds. That could have been 39 seconds.
Completely random.
So then we go back to the office. Oh, so I like this. This should have been the quote.
Okay.
This.
We're excited.
I don't want to go to no dance unless I can rub some tit, is what Lester says to Daniels.
Yes.
Basically, he's telling him, you can't go half in. You gotta, like, if you're gonna do this, you gotta do this.
Right. Balls to the wall.
Yeah, and he's like, "Thanks, Lester," or whatever the fuck he said. I don't know. I'm gonna go voice my voice on Destiny.
Yeah.
And then we go to McNulty sleeping in the bed.
Yep.
Are you done here, or what the hell? Where are your notes, pal?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm playing off you and going off memory.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
What if I can't read my handwriting?
We're fucked.
Okay, what is happening?
I don't know.
Okay, good. So
Something's taken over.
I wrote down something that looks like shreds. Could that be? Oh, streets. Streets, not shreds. See, I wrote this in the dark.
It's all good.
I closed. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. It's all dark, and I was writing and trying to not turn lights on and be quiet.
Okay.
That's why I had the what's it called?
Subtitles.
Thank you. I almost
Closed
said
captioning.
Closed caption. I was going to call them hieroglyphics, but that's not.
Hieroglyphics. All right.
That is not it.
That'd
So
be interesting if you had hieroglyphics on your TV.
I was like,
I'd like to see that.
so it's Wallace and Poot, and they spot Brandon playing pinball and Paige D.
Yep.
So then,
Oh yeah, we're wrapping up.
yeah. So then it goes.
He's like, that's that guy.
It goes to Stinkum and Bird and Weebe and Stringer in a car looking at Scar.
Yep.
Whew, that's like a poem right there.
That was nicely that was nicely said. Very nicely executed there, Nicholas.
So Stringer gets the page. D's got a little problem, 911.
Like 3 times.
Yeah, and then Weebay's like, "Oh, what?" I forget what he said, but
he said a smart ass joke,
and they both
Stringer starts cracking up.
Yeah, they both started laughing. They're basically calling D.
Can't handle it again or something. Yeah.
Um.
Well, and then they don't show Scar's face.
No, they just show him like
They show him wearing a
Jersey.
Number 80.
I was gonna say 90. Yeah.
So
I
was thinking
nobody's 90.
No.
It wasn't a Darnell Dockett jersey.
no, no.
So and then every time it gets paged, it shows the office getting paged too.
Right.
And it shows how long, like the duration
Of the call and all that. So basically, Stringer says, "I need a phone." They go. He calls Wallace, and Wallace.
He calls D.
He calls D.
D calls them. Tells them to wait. They'll show up.
Yeah.
So
and Poot's like, "They're not gonna fucking show up."
And then they show up.
And Wallace is like, "They said they're gonna be here."
And they show up, and
Stringer says, "Who are you?" Basically, I'm Wallace.
Wallace.
Good work, nigga. I think that's what he said. Good work, nigga. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's what he said.
So the last thing I wrote about the episode is because Stringer calls D back and says good job.
Yeah.
And D hangs up the phone.
And he knows
that he just killed someone.
Yep.
And he's got second thoughts.
Like he looks like just
he's like, oh
deer in headlights.
Shit! I just fucking
like someone's gonna die because of
me.
Yeah.
Well, and more because of Wallace and Poot. But
well, yeah, but
he was like the middleman.
But he had to.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to. There's no way that. I mean, not to say that Wallace and Poot are anything, but they wouldn't have respect. Not to say they even respect him now, but they definitely wouldn't have respected him if he didn't make that phone call and get to Stringer.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they got robbed. They're more, in my opinion, the way I look at it, they're more street and gangster than D is.
Yeah.
D's more like, he still has logic, and he's more like.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know how much logic he has, but yeah.
Well, I mean, but it's like the whole, and then we go dum dum.
Yeah, there you go.
Cue the music.
You can just regurgitate all our Facebook and all that bullshit.
Oh yeah, and it's funny because I want to start doing that in the beginning.
Really? It takes us long enough to get started.
Yeah, but I don't know how many people actually watch the entire thing.
All of them fucking.
I would hope, but I mean, and I was going to write that down and then I forgot. So, but yes, follow us, subscribe.
Next week we'll say Facebook in the beginning.
Yeah, next week we're going to give you everything in the beginning. For all you fuckwads that aren't listening right now, you will hear it next week. Look us up on Facebook. And just, any social media outlet you can search Pleeka, you'll find us. Spreaker, iTunes, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, everything's in the description. Just, hopefully you enjoyed it as much as we do. Thank you. This is the conclusion of another breakdown of Episode 5, The Pager. Season 1, Episode 5 of The Wire.
I can't wait for 6.
I'm seriously excited.
Yeah.
Abby was watching it, and...
yeah, how did she like this episode? We didn't get into that.
Well, she only caught the last 20 minutes. So
she didn't get to see Omar?
No, but she wants to rewatch it.
Okay.
But she was like, what are they going to do to Brandon? And I was like, you'll see.
Nothing.
They're just going to talk to him,
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah, she hasn't listened to the last episode because she hasn't fully seen it all.
No spoilers.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't want to listen to you guys yet because I haven't watched it. I'm like, well, let's fucking watch it.
Yeah.
I'll watch it again. It goes quick.
I only watched it the one time. I was gonna watch it last night, but they went to the movies last night. So, plus I was fucking tired when I got home, so I just went to sleep.
I hear that. So yeah, thanks for listening. Like us, subscribe to us, rate, review,
star us,
do it all.
Blow us,
lick our buttholes, tip of the dick. Whatever you're into, let me know. I'm sure I'll find somebody that'll enjoy it.
Oh my goodness.
So, this is Talking TV with Nick and Josh. I'm Josh.
And I'm Nick.
Have a good one, fuckers.